Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now June 4th of 2023, and not only are we getting closer to the full marketing plan of the Ahsoka Tano series by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, but we also have a lot of other things coming to light when it comes to D23 later this year that takes place in September, that's going to unveil the full roadmap of the Star Wars franchise, ranging from new movies to new TV shows, and a lot of projects that Kathleen Kennedy has zero involvement in, so that's really going to be very reassuring to the audience, I feel. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And without further ado, let's get right into the subject. Now, we know that there's a lot of things happening with the current slate of Star Wars TV shows and films and all the projects out there that's coming together, given that we have the Disney CEO Bob Iger really trying to turn things around for the franchise and give fans something very fresh and new to deal with, to really kind of look forward to. And they want to make sure that they are going to give Legends content into live-action adaptations that will be as accurate as possible by John, Dave, Timothy Zahn, and others becoming a part of this dream team, essentially. So moving on to the next big thing here, what's really intriguing about all of this has a lot to do with the fact of what John and Dave are gearing up for Mando 4, Ahsoka Season 1 and 2, and more. However, when it comes down to Daisy Ridley, she was able to talk a little bit more about the 2025 Star Wars movie and the character of Rey, and she didn't really have the nicest things to say about Disney. In fact, she gets quite frustrated and angry with them, blaming them about something very specific. We're going to be diving into all of this now. Now, right now, John and Dave are beginning to expand the roadmap of the Star Wars franchise. However, recently Daisy Ridley got the chance to talk about the new Jedi Order film that she is going to star in. She stated the following to the entire community: "I think the growing problem with Rey and why there is so much fan division over her in the sequels was all rooted to how Disney mishandled her. When I was working on 7, I will be honest, I was getting very frustrated and annoyed with how she had gained all these powers with no explanation at all. And I remember expressing my concern with that over with JJ, and he had told me that Kathy and those on the up and up over at Disney just wanted her to be a character with strength to sell the film. Which I thought that was very lazy storytelling, sadly. And the same followed with my training session in The Last Jedi. Why Disney allowed this is beyond me, and it rubs me the wrong way to this day." Now let me just stop here quickly for 1 second about what Daisy's putting out, is that she does make a very good point. When you look at The Force Awakens, not only did she uncover all of these abilities with ease and with no training at all, such as the Jedi mind trick and besting Kylo Ren so easily from what it appeared on Starkiller Base, but also the training session between herself and Luke was nowhere near the status of the training session between Luke and Yoda. And that is something that even Daisy Ridley herself criticizes. And that tells us a lot that Disney doesn't really know exactly how to handle Star Wars, or at least at the time, how to handle Star Wars. Now, thankfully, in the present, we have John and Dave to help us out, to really steer us in the right path, to give us the right Star Wars material to work with and to look forward to, and I think that's really going to be something of a game changer. Now, the 2025 Star Wars film, Daisy Ridley has talked about this multiple times, that she has realized that there's a lot of backlash related to the character. She understands why, but she also has said that it's just nothing more than a movie, it's just entertainment, and it doesn't affect everybody's day-to-day lives. Which a lot of people found that to be, a little insulting, because Star Wars is absolutely bigger than just a movie. But moving on. Now, on top of this, alright, she goes on to elaborate. "I think they were the ones who created these fans that have been growing overly annoyed with the character. But look, fans need to realize it's just a movie. You shouldn't really take it that seriously. As annoyed as I am with how the character was represented, with this upcoming film, we are trying to not make the same mistake again, and I myself have been pressuring on that because I don't want to deal with that ever again. If anyone is to blame for the backlash over my character, don't look at me. It all comes to those who pushed for how she was being represented in these movies. I've said all I have to say, and I only look to improve the character best I can. Now look, we know that Rey was a very complex character all the time. In Force Awakens, Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, and a lot of people did not like how the writing of the character is basically a flip-flop, right? The Force Awakens made you believe that she was either connected to Kenobi or Luke or some kind like that. Then The Last Jedi established that she was a nobody. Then we had The Rise of Skywalker that made her into a Palpatine, and as it turns out, that was a Kathleen Kennedy engineered thing to justify her powers, basically. So we know that there's a big plan over at Lucasfilm right now to reverse the whole Rey Palpatine thing and getting rid of that, and to simplify her backstory, to simplify her overall lineage, so to speak, to really kind of ease things up a bit. But I think at the same exact time, when you look at stuff like this, when you examine things like what happened with Daisy Ridley, it really did damage her career. She's not really getting many blockbuster deals or movies or anything like that, like big franchises that she would get involved in. Nothing like that is coming out of her career, except for the new Star Wars film, which, you know, honestly, a lot of fans are criticizing it already because, number one, it is a sequel trilogy movie or post-sequel trilogy film that's going to feature Rey again, and a lot of fans aren't really approving of that. Daisy is aware about this, and she wants to make sure that Rey is not going to fall into the same territory that she did in the sequels. That's basically her aim right now. And she's been talking things over directly with Stephen Knight, who is, by the way, the writer of this film, trying to make sure that they don't make the same mistake again. So, if you guys want my real 2 cents on this, it's going to be a tough challenge on their end to make this 2025 movie something of value. Look, if they can reinvent the character in the film, so be it. We know that John and Dave are doing that in their post-Episode 9 series, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm just not quite sure if Stephen Knight, this writer that nobody really has heard of, is going to be able to pull that off. It's going to be interesting to say the least, but Daisy Ridley opening up more about Disney, kind of similar to how John Boyega opened up about his frustration with Disney, about how they mishandled Finn as a character and made all these false promises to him about how he was supposed to be the main Jedi in The Force Awakens, essentially, and then they used that as a ruse in the marketing. He was really put off by that. But what bothers me is how, reportedly, John Boyega is back for this 2025 movie, and it seems like he sold himself out, because he literally kind of made an oath to never come back to Disney Star Wars again, and apparently he's back in the 2025 film. So that says a lot about what, you know, money does to these actors. So anyways, guys, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.